And what are they going to go on Execration side? I mean, can they Ursa into this? Can they... probably not against the Terrorblade. Can they Razor? You know I like my Razor. Against a Mars as well. Can they Monkey King? Probably not against the Terrorblade. Hmm. Can they PA, perhaps?
I do want a melee here at
Or...
least. Someone to play aggressive with the Grimstroke. I'm just trying to think of... I don't know if you go PA just because the matchup into Terrorblade's pretty decent for TB.
Admiral Tonka.
Gives some flex. Probably... Yeah, gives some flex. Palace does like to play the Conquer. Some magic damage. Team fight, which they were lacking. We saw Boom run this into the grave, honestly. Conquer Mirana. It's a very, very solid combination.
10 seconds remaining.
How are we killing this Terrorblade? That's what I want to know.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like they need more damage that isn't physical to be able to deal with him.
I didn't want to mention it then because I didn't think they pick it in the second phase, but I think they might like Zeus or some... I really think Zeus, honestly. I can see Bob playing that. So you could go back into Batrider if you really want to. Like it is another pretty good Batrider game, but I think Zeus is...
That'd be a cheeky play as well, right? If you get the Zeus, then even if Dawnbreaker Solar Guardians, then you can just Nimbus on top of her when she starts to channel it. So interrupt it. It'd be a cute little play.
Yep. It also could just be such an overwhelming amount of burst that you might not get the heals coming up fast enough. So I think it's going to be, well, we got Rubik 4, Mars 3, Dawn 5, and Terrorblade 1. So we're looking for our Mercury hero the 23rd. They do kind of lack ways to take towers early. Maybe around 15 minutes, TB can connect with like meta. So are you wanting to kind of fulfill a way to be able to take some early towers?
I suppose. I mean, they don't have the worst tower taking, right? And it seems like what Execration are more concerned about are just heroes that are going to be able to get on top of their mid hero, as in terms of like banning out. So it does feel kind of like they are leaning a bit more towards this Zeus pick that you were going for previously.
Radiant team pick.
What else can they do that might be able to push? DP, maybe?
It just got banned.
Ah.
Say that to make yourself look smart. You're like, oh, I didn't see the ban.
Oh no,
I
was looking at the heroes list actually. It would have been a really nice DP. What can they go for now? Like, I want some percentage damage. I want some tower taking potential. I want additional stuns to be able to help out. I want something else that's going to be on the front lines against the Terrorblade, but isn't going to get chunked down by all this physical damage. I mean, what's survivable in that way? Do you just put faith in the... Oh, they banned the Ember as well. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what someone are going to be able to pick now. Invoker? No.
I'm going through the hero sheet, seeing what I can find as well. I think
I'm lost.
Yeah, it's a very difficult game to play like a spirit hero because, well, Ember's gone, Puck's gone anyway. You're not going to pick Storm. I don't believe you can Void into this. There's a lot of control. It's not an easy Void Spirit game at all.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, they would just throw the Conquer mid. They go Snap. Okay, so maybe it's a mid Mars. Maybe that's what they were thinking of with the Conquer there. But even if you just have the 1 point in the bulwark, you can reduce a lot of that damage. We might see the mid Dawnbreaker come out as well, right? Remember Mamang Daya playing that one back in the day.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it gives them some flex, gives them team fight as well, which is something that they had a little bit of with Arena and Solar Guardian, but now it gives them a nice way to pump damage inside. It's a combo that we saw. Have we seen in this series? Yeah, they played it in game 1, Execration. Does this deter you
Spectre
on Execration?
Wouldn't hate it. I mean, you've got all this pick off, right? And then you just go like an early Aghanim Scepter to be able to join in for a lot of these picks. You're always going to be able to get like immediately on top of the Terrorblade, so you don't have that weird like no man's land where you're running in and he's got Scardy and he's wailing into you.
I don't know if you respect. I don't know if you dealt with the Terrorblade though.
Lena, choose
Okay,
your
well we get
hero.
that's a Bob staple. Bob really likes his Lena. So
Mid snap.
regardless, it's going to be a good lane for Bob. Like whether weren't sure if they were going to put the Mars mid and Dawnbreaker off, or Snap was going to go mid, whatever the case was going to be. Regardless, this is a very good matchup for Bob. You also give Palos his Conquer, which he's comfortable on. It's not like a crazy lane combo with Conquer Grimstroke. You don't have like a carry that's easily able to jump and get that Inkspell stun. And honestly, overall, they haven't really paired the Grimstroke with anyone nicely. Double Laguna Blades, pretty much about it. Maybe double Dragon Tail, but in regards to the Inkswell, there's no one. I guess Tino actually. So you've got one hero at least.
Yeah, and in the lane, I mean, the Conquer can look to be a little bit more of that aggressive frontliner. You know, your strength hero, you like to be up there, not soaking damage, but you can look to move forward as Palos. So I wouldn't hate to see it. I really want to see Crush put that single point into the bulwark, though. It's just going to make that laning stage so much better. Sure, you might get a little bit less harass out and tiny bit less CS, but you're not going to need to spend quite as much time out of the lane just because you're getting chunked by the Tidebringer.
Well, how do we feel about this? Because we were both fans of Execration's draft in Game 2, but Summit just demolished them with their lineup. But do we feel like it's similar here to Execration? Maybe a draft advantage, but Summit can take it off the back of their execution? How do we feel about this third game?
Well, I was a fan of the Execration execution, but clearly they let me down in that game number 2. So I'm just going to base this one entirely on the drafts, taking everything out in terms of what it actually means for the quality of the teams. Like, the pickoff is insane on Execration, so I wonder if they do go a different route in terms of the Dawnbreaker and what she's able to build into. Like, do you go into the more points in the Solar Guardian just so that you guarantee get the heal save off with the Solar Guardian? Because it is a pos 5 as well, right? So you probably can go like a Holy Locket into like Tranquils and then into the Aghanim Scepter. I honestly wouldn't hate that for Trezam. So I think that's probably the route that you go down there. The tower taking is better. I'm still going to say Execration just because I feel like they do now have ways to deal with this TB with the Lina. I think without it, you would have been seriously lacking, but Bob, he's shown, like, you're a Skadi builder, you're attacking very quickly, you're attacking from probably the only hero other than like Sniper that can contest a TB at range is that Lina there. So I'm going to go with Execration for now.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on board with them too. I think it's also kind of come down to how they can... You mentioned their pickoffs, but I just think in other ways, Summit don't really have that capability, and I think a lot of the early game is going to be playing off the back of pickoffs because we're going to have like TB shoving side lanes. Summit don't really have ways to take towers, so they can't open up the map. And then I don't know if they're really going to be able to make space for this Terrorblade. Whereas Execration, you just early towers with Tino's DK, and then as soon as the map's open, you got Bob with like Boots of Travel. Even Palos can get very active on the Conquer, so I'm concerned about how the early game is going to shape up for Summit. I think they do have a big team fight advantage. So it's going to come down to can they execute, I think, when their ultimates are available. Like, if you can get killers with Arena, with Mono Kisses, even if Trezam feels it's required to drop Solar Guardian, then I feel like you're going to be pretty happy on Summit. But you are, again, very cooldown reliant, whereas Execration aren't as much. So it just, I think, comes down to can you get kills with the ultimates. If you can't, then it's going to put you in a position where you're starting to fall a bit behind.
The other thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that particularly with this Dawnbreaker, you've got at least 3 heroes that need to be farming on lane, or really want to be. Like, the Dawn, the Snap, and the Mars all want to be farming on lane. TB can go in jungle, and that's fine. It also means that Rubik isn't going to get too much farm despite being a position 4. Speaking of this bottom lane as well, Trezam, he's taken a good amount of harass already.
Yeah, Tino did a really good job. Just as soon as he saw the Starbreaker getting used, Tino instant read of the Dragon Tail, cancelled, I think, the last swipe, and then Shanks also had the follow-up, and we do also see that it's a bit interesting that they've got the Mirana paired with the Conquer and the Grimstroke down bottom with the Dragonite. So how you feel about this kind of swap from Execration?
Good question, honestly. I'm trying to think about this. The last pos 5 Mirana that I saw was, I think, Seb at the Stockholm Major, where he was able to make it work. He was a little greedy when he was playing it there, but clearly it worked out well for OG. I don't know, honestly. I mean, I feel like a DK Mirana combination is really solid, so maybe they were just wanting something that was going to be able to utilize something like this Blightstone to harass out these heroes that don't have the greatest armor pulls, and that's exactly what Vincenzo's gone for. Against the TB, of course, it wouldn't have been anywhere nearly as effective. And again,
Maybe they just felt like the Grimstroke's a bit better of a laning hero, as Mirana can't really do much. Like maybe get the range creep, pull a wave, kill a courier. Palos is almost dead top. He's alright. Yeah, but we're gonna have a lot of brawling bottom with like meta whenever that's available. Starbreaker, we've already seen how aggressive Trezam's been playing, so maybe they just feel like they needed the Grimstroke to be in this lane to really help out Tino, and they want the DK to have a good lane, because then that can kind of unlock their map as soon as they take some towers.
So it's going to need to be so careful, though. He's got the tangos running, he's got the bracer, and I think you've got a salve being ferried out by Vincenzo. But in the meantime, Vincenzo is just going to be blinking away at both this Mars and the Rubik. Of course, you do have the headdress on CZY available to make that not feel quite as bad, but it's still very annoying to have to contest up into this consistent damage being layered through.
Overall, though, it's both game 1 and game 2 against Summit looked very, very comfortable in the laning phase. They're able to get a big advantage off the start, so we're seeing at the moment Execration of at least being able to make sure there's not a repeat in that, but we are only 3 minutes in, and of course they do have some pretty aggressive side lanes. We're going to see it up top, Crush and CZY. Really nice spell casting. The telekinesis back into the spear. They just saw him out of place, and meanwhile bottom lane as well. Shanks pulling low with the stick charge, is going to keep the Grimstroke healthy.
That was still just when the Rubik was level 2 as well, so he didn't actually have the 2 points in the Fate Bolt. Still able to layer in the damage needed to be able to get that first blood available. Of course, he is on Crush as well. Very important that he's the one looking to play aggressive around the map. You know, I was saying that you've got 3 heroes on Summit side that want to be playing on the lanes. Of course, a Dawnbreaker, even a position 5, can play that role, right? Shove out a lane. If you respond to it, it's a position 5. If you don't respond to it, you've got another hero that's getting a crazy amount more farm than it probably should be. So that's one of the huge benefits of dealing with the Dawnbreaker, because at any time, she could still just easily rejoin a team fight with that Solar Guardian.
Radiant's middle tower is under
And I think the
attack.
lineup is very important, I think, for how they're able to play the map. As soon as you have like Blink and an Arena as an opportunity, then it's going to get a lot easier for Summit to be able to at least initiate these fights. So pre-Blink, it's down to just maybe running in, playing on a high ground with nighttime advantage, and then that's when you can maybe land the combo. So like you said, if he's able to find first blood, funnel a lot of gold into him, maybe we've got an early Blink, and that can really help unlock the lineup of Summit.
Got the kills onto him on this top side, although could they get a turnaround here?
Ooh, Vincenzo, quick leap away. Pella's trying to find a target with the Tidebringer. He's going to chase down CZY instead, but Crush is healed up enough thanks to the Ring of Health.
And he did go the Bulwark. Very nicely done. So means that this lane against the Kunkka isn't anywhere near as bad. Just constantly. Don't even have to toggle it. You're just going to take 40% less damage whenever he uses that Tidebringer on the creep wave.
Both mid laners TP'd back to... So, ran back to base by the looks of it. Bob has the level 6 advantage. Mercury's going to step a little bit forward onto the lane, but Bob doesn't have a kill threat at the moment.
TP's coming in from the Rubik, and that'd be a bottle refill coming through from Mercury.
They're going to go.
It's level 6 as well, and
Trezam's
immediately...
in early, but nice read as soon as he had the level 6. They knew Mercury didn't have to close the distance. They were just relying on the kisses from afar. Now Shanks enters the river. Great position from CZY. Is able to enter forward, gets the cookie stun, and Summit, they find their 3rd kill of the game.
They do, and look at this Mercury. He could have just stayed there and continued farming the creeps, but realized how important it was to start getting these creeps hit by the tower, deny all of that valuable experience away from the Lina, as well on top of that, have a siege creep starting to beat down on this mid. So you're going to bring a lot more attention towards this mid tower, which you probably don't want to at this stage. And of course, Lina had just TP'd back as well, so she's going to need to take that walk of shame.
Very true. Another free wave for Mercury. So ring now completed. It's a very, very farm Snapfire. We pretty much see Boots Travel is really the first item for these core Snapfires. So see how fast Mercury's able to get to that stage. I think for Execration, we're going to be looking towards the level 6 though on Tino. Still quite some time away from it, just hit level 5 now, but this is when I think we'll see a little bit more rotations coming out from Execration, maybe even a secondary support brought bottom just to help take this tower.
Don't get cross with me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got Crush, who's a good level ahead of him already, which is, you know, really nicely done there. TB been playing solo for quite some time, so the fact that he's got a good 600 net worth lead over him, he's able to go back to the jungle, and eventually when the lane pushes in, going to be capable of farming. It's just really nicely done all around by Summit.
Yep, both sides kind of posturing pretty aggressively by this mid lane. Summit got both their supports. Unfortunately, they're not going to get a D. What I do believe they saw the ward on the enemy side of the map. Trezam still moving on forward, and there we go. Finally gets the water. Might come at a cost though. Vincenzo able to land the arrow, and Bob has plenty of follow-up damage as soon as the Laguna is utilized. So, and we go Execration finally hitting the board. Meanwhile, top lane, Crushy almost solo killed Palos. It was Arena committed. Palos had to use the boat defensively.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, he ran back into the torrent. Vincenzo is trying to connect up as well. They've got the arrow. Great play. Palos and Vincenzo combined together. Mortimer Kisses are getting laid down. Palos is just going to be able to get out of range. So they'll have to just turn to Vincenzo instead. Unfortunately, you would have loved the trade onto the carry. They're lacking some damage at the moment. Vincenzo is making them work for it, but Mercury steps in. Meanwhile, Terrorblade though.
Nice.
Hang on. How was that? Okay, I think it was an Invis. Bob, I believe, pop Invis, and then they were able to get the ink swollen and close the distance. I think that's where the first stun came out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and anytime you're just farming in the jungle, if you haven't seen the supports in a while, they could have spent that time putting wards down. They took a lot of time to be able to just get that single kill onto the Morana.
Trezam. So ambitious to try and get this stack. No, 10 health. Okay, Vincenzo gets the kill. They're going to ping like there's a ward on the higher ground, but it's just a nice read from him. And now Bob's even connecting as well, but will not be able to catch up to Mercury on the Snapfire. Bottom lane Crush. The threat of the arena is going to be there. Tino trying to sidestep. Dragon Tail's going to waste a little bit of the arena duration, but Unknown has the damage coming through for the Metamorphoses. And even Mercury's going to TP down as well. So 3 cores on Summit, putting emphasis on trying to shut down this Elder Dragon form.
It's a lot of movement coming through from Mercury, though. You know, he hasn't spent too much of the last little bit farming. Did get that kill onto Tino, of course, so it's not going to be quite as bad, but he really needs those boots of travel. He's saving up a lot of gold right now just to be able to make those plays for the Terrorblade.
Oh,
Radiant's courier has
gonna move in. They know exactly where Mercury is farming. They might go for the Terrorblade instead, though, as Unknown. Once again, they're going to look to try and play off the LSA to start, Shanks to enter. The Solar Guardian for the bonus health almost gives an opportunity for the Sunder, but at least it buys a little bit of time. They had to stick around to get that last little tick of damage, and now Bob, he's stuck inside Radiant's jungle. Crush and Trezam, no way he gets a TP up. Bob! Oh my god, Bob, how close was that?
Even just launching the Mortimer's Kisses here on the Snapfire, trying to kill Shanks. He's going to attempt to try and deny himself maybe to this big stack that I wonder if Mercury even saw that with a glimpse of those Mortimer's Kisses, but if he was, that would have been a very juicy little bit to be able to farm up, and Bob, he understands that his farm is under threat, so immediately makes the move through to his own triangle, look to pick that one up for himself, but Trezam is just being annoying again.
Oh no, he's
getting a lot of this farm too.
Gonna steal a lot with the Dragon sleeping on cooldown. Okay, I thought he was gonna steal more. He's kind of just, I guess he knows he's stuck, may as well use all the abilities. Try and get as many
last
hits.
This is what a Buzz 5 does though, right?
Yeah.
It's about creating that space. If you die, then, you know, you're taking away or at least leeching all of that experience. And then Tino, of course, he popped the Elder Dragon form just to be able to make that rotation. He'll still go towards this mid lane, but yeah, look at Mercury. He's set up perfectly to be able to shove out this lane.
I'd love to see Dice smoke and wrap around mid, but looks like they're not in a position where they grouped up to make that attempt. Tino is very close to Blink Dagger as well, so it's going to be great timing out of the offlane Dragonite. We've already seen Tino be able to take the safe lane tower of Summits. So 1 tower advantage to the lads on Execration, and probably give it 2 minutes and they're going to look to make a play. But in fact, Execration, they already want to get aggressive. Smoke from Palos and Vincenzo, Conker. Is that the level 10?
Like CZY will be in position maybe to be able to tank the gank. He just wants to be there right where the rune spawns, but well, he's going to back up in time.
Arrow just gets the stun connection, and Cookie further into harm's way. Summit, they are starting to connect. Mercury's going to blink into the middle as well as Unknown, even with the Metamorphosis damage, but they're unable to get the first kill into Execration. It's a beautiful arena, but where is the follow-up? Unknown's going to try and enter the fight. Now with the Mortimer Kisses getting laid down as well, they need a way to cancel it. That's where the X comes into play, but Mercury jumps straight in, cuts down 1 life, and Bob on the backline as well is going to be cautious. Mercury is going to scatter blast up in a couple of seconds, but doesn't want to stick around to see the kill through. And that's going to cost him his life as the arrow flies on through the tree line, gets a connection as Bob swarms to the back and secures the triple.
Well, he's going to go for the stun here onto the DK. Will he be able to pick it up? It's going to be a long TP coming through from the Mars, though. CZY just joining in a little bit too soon, not allowing the Mars to get into position. But, I mean, that is the exact opposite of what we saw in game number 2, right? It felt like Summit were in a good position. They had all the vision they could possibly want around that rune, but just spells not being used together. You know, great 4-man arena, but the Mortimer's Kisses just came out 3 seconds too late. By the time most of them were landing, the arena had expired.
It is kind of a little tease of how the team fights can look, though, for Summit. And that was, like you said, even when the Mortimer Kisses wasn't combined perfectly at the same time. But it does kind of show, like, if you can get a decent arena, and if Unknown is on the outskirts of the walls with plenty of items to be able to pump the damage in, you've got Kisses as well, Solar Guardian even for good measure. Like, Summit, I do still feel like their team fight is definitely going to be a big advantage in this lineup. Bottom lane, Palos gets the X into Arrow. Tino's going to be able to step in as well, so should be a quick and easy kill. You got to be careful on the side lanes, though. Summit smoking to top.
They're trying to bait for this. Yeah, but they're trying to say, okay, we really want to use our pick-off lineup, kill this Terrorblade. CZY is going to show himself in the lane, though, and they know exactly where Shanks is, but unfortunately, the rest of the boys aren't there to really assist with it.
Tino's here to jump instantly. As soon as CZY shows, Solar Guardian for the bonus health. Rubik's going to be okay for the moment. Another round of the spells from Shanks and up Trezan. He's committed him, but he's going to... Oh, no, he cancelled his TP because they're hunting Unknown. He feels like he needs to keep his Terrorblade alive, and...
He didn't need it.
He didn't need it. It looks like just revealing his location, so they just turn back for the easier pickings. Uh-oh.
Where's the team movement, Aries? That's what I want to know. You know, like, it just always seems like someone's out of position this game, where it didn't happen a single time in game number 2. Luckily this time around, as we see mid lane starting to be sieged a little bit here, CZY is going to be trying to contest against it, but they would have seen that they placed down this Observer Ward this time around.
By the triangle, Tino's in. They're going to have detection. They stole the Moonlight Shadow. Sentra's going to be dropped. Off to the north side, though, they're able to get rid of the Grimstroke, but it looks like it will not matter as Bob steps in, offers the burst, and is going to TP out under the cover of the BKB, but the Dragonite will not have the same fate. As Tino stuck on the triangle. A quick and easy kill as Mercury secures the double.
TB's not farming that great, though. You got to say it. He's sitting down 6 on the net worth charts. You haven't taken a single tower. And again, it's the same issue that we saw for Execration in that game number 2. They really don't have any tower damage heroes outside of this Terrorblade. So if you're able to lock him down, then obviously his influence is severely reduced.
Top lane, Palos.
We're wanting to put a little...
Runs into both supports. Looks like Trezam again gonna die. I think that's almost exactly where he was last time. Maybe not as much now as he kept him alive for a little bit longer, but Summit, they want to continue with this fight. Look at all their heroes' location.
But how? You don't have Arena. You don't have
Radiant's
Kisses.
top tower
How are you
is
going to
under
fight?
attack.
I feel like they had a prime opportunity to be able to take that mid-tier 1 tower, open up so much more space for Unknown to feel safe.
Maybe
Instead,
if Palace
top
steps a
side.
bit too far.
He's got BKB.
Yeah. I think this is...
You just can't do this.
It's scary now as well, because a lot of the damage from Summit is going to be off the back of the magic damage. And not only does Palos have a BKB, but Bob's got his BKB as well. And Dragonite's also going BKB, so they are going to be lacking a lot of damage shortly until the Terrorblade. I think it's his second item. I don't even think the Mantra is what they're worried about. Oh no, Unknown.
He can't die here.
Dude.
CZY pinged this ward out 3 times. 3 times he pinged this one out. At least Trezam's
he's gonna get caught. They're TPing down Trezam. He's got the ultimate at least to maybe give him some bonus health back, but the chain control preventing the threat of the Sunder. The Embrace is going to expire, but the Laguna Blade makes sure there's no opportunity for them to turn it back around. And now they can get on top of Mercury, making sure even the Mortimer Kisses is not going to be available in this team fight. There's Tino. Blink up in a couple of seconds. Mercury's, oh my lord, just gets a blink, but Tino is going to sniff him out of the tree line. Like a bloodhound goes Tino, making sure Mercury will not escape safely back to their side of the map.
They even fortified, trying to get that multi-shot in, protect the
Radiant's
creep
bottom
wave,
tower
but
is under
now that they don't have it,
Crush. Onto the Dragonite, that extra
Lena
damage
back
from the
though.
T2 tower. But look at the ink spot bonus health. No way, Tino. He doesn't even die. They get one. They're going to turn to Crush next. Palace looking for the X to hold him in place. They're hesitant though on Execration. The resources starting to dwindle. Crush.
oh no.
Oh, no. And now Tino. What? Dude, both position 3s are just mindlessly jumping to the middle.
Oh, I love Sea Dota so much, man. It's a little cloudy at times, but sure as hell is entertaining as, well, they could, if they were wanting to, again, stay down
Radiant's
at this
bottom
bottom
tower
tower,
is
start
under
to
attack.
pressure it a little bit more. Bob has all of the farm that he could possibly want, and with no fortification available, maybe just thinking that the Dragonite is still a huge portion of that damage, they could open up even more of the map for themselves. But I said it before, Unknown had that area, they knew that was wanted. CZY pinged it 3 different times, and he still was farming underneath it. That is just a severe lack of communication coming through from Summit.
And it's really going to bite them in the back.
Dire's
Hold that
top
thought
is
as top
under
lane.
attack.
Mercury feels like he's got a little bit longer up top. They had the ward on the high ground scouting out Dire, connecting to the Dragonite's location, but they didn't know Tino TP it in. Crush is going to try and counter-initiate. It's a beautiful Solar Guardian as well. Let's look at the damage finally. The team fight synergy coming through. As they will still lose Mercury in the end,
Radiant's
but
bottom tower is under
CZY
attack.
might be able to catch up the Shanks, the Grimstroke though. Wary of this attempt. Crush is still stalking his prey, but we'll go for the creeps instead.
Right, having to be a little bit
Dire's
careful
top
here.
tower is under
Bob?
Oh,
Stepping forward. Where's the chain control? Bob's going to make sure that's not an option. Turns, tries to cut down the Rubik slap, but he's now stuck inside this
BKB's
location. No BKB, so Crush can land the spear into the Starbreaker as Trezam gets the wicked 6 streak.
what is going on? At least Palace has got the objective-based gaming in mind. He's pushing that tier 2 tower. He knows that all of this emphasis being put on top is just a lot of space for him, but he's probably the last of the 3 cores that feels comfortable in doing a lot of tower damage.
Radiant's bottom
He's gonna
tower-
get it
Be able to
too.
get it though.
Radiant's bottom tower
Careful how long
has
you stick
fallen.
around though, Palos.
Him.
Get the stun to start. Might be able to just BKB TP out. He's going to look to go for it now. Palos wants to drop the combo. Does he get Mercury now? He's going to try and TP out now. They got... Oh my god. I saved the BKB expired. They had the X, but... Whew, you're right,
That's the
Danog.
best play that's happened in the past 5 minutes, though, right? Like, he brings, how many, 4 people down to the bottom side and takes a tower
Radiant
and frees up more space for the rest of his team. That's not something a POS 1 should be doing, but honestly, Palace feels like the only one that's actually playing Dota in this last little bit.
Tino? Bro, what is going on? Everyone's dying. See DPC at its finest. Tino just jumps in and Summit connect to mid. What a crazy game. We got 40 kills. Why not?
Oh, you love it. I think he's nearly got his, is that just the Shadow Blade or is it the full Silver Edge? Okay, so he's got Silver Edge as well, picked up by Palace. That's a big deal. Being able to remove things like the Bulwark away from the Mars, going to be a very, very significant deal with all of them.
Bob! They got the Solar Guardian. There's going to be plenty of damage with the stun lock. Bob's going to die for a second time in a row.
Or put a price
Ooh,
on my head.
Summit, this is big. Getting pickoffs and your Terrorblade is starting to catch up in farm.
Yeah, starting to catch up in farm. He's nearly got the BKB finished up as well. If they wanted to, they probably could have converged into Roshan. But maybe just feeling like with that tier 1 tower still up and available for Execration, their potential to rejoin, rally around that point is way too strong.
I'm still under the assumption that if Execration get their BKBs off in fights, then they're going to have a window to be able to kill like 2 heroes and waste ultimates, and they should be fine. Because Unknown still needs a lot of damage. Like, I don't know how much his BKB is truly going to help them.
Don't underestimate
Hellos.
the power of pink.
They don't have heroes to play with. Execration. I was going to be a little bit more cautious as Crush going to jump in beautiful
BKB.
arena.
Oh.
Hellos gets a BKB off for the last second, but the rest of Execration got to show up to the fight. The double Laguna Blade gets rid of one, and soon the second. Trezam cut down into pieces. Bob, though, looking to step back into the fight. Unknown still got a BKB. Is he able to get it off, though? The arrow from downtown! They get rid of Unknown, but Mercury with the Mortimer Kisses might secure another kill as Mercury looking to have the last say in this team fight, being the hero for Summit as they step in, divert their attention into Tino and Mercury and CZ. Why do it all?
Yeah, the double heroes coming through. There was a couple of stolen Light Strike Array hits as well coming through. Of course, one of the better abilities to be able to seal as that Rubik. You don't have to wait for that wind-up timing, and one of the big weaknesses, of course, is the short range for it. Not if you're a Rubik with Arcane Supremacy and a Keen Optic.
And Mercury's level 20. He's already level 20, highest in the game, and this is really where a Snapfire is a position to you start to come
It's
online.
scaling time.
Yeah, it is scaling time.
Even just Trezam having that level 12, so much more healing that you're able to dish out against the damage that Execration have been pumping into you for this last little bit. But, in the meantime, we can't forget about Execration. Aghanim Scepter now finished up for the Grimstroke, so we know how effective that's going to be against the Terrorblade. It really is going to depend on him, at least until the Snapfire gets that big right-click damage item. Because for right now, you can have your little Shredder using your attack damage as damage, but you don't have attack damage right now. You need like that Daedalus to come through. So if you get off that Dark Portrait, it's really only up to the Terrorblade to be able to deal with it.
Strike up on Summit. Gonna path their way top. Mercury on the Vanguard. Fresh BKB completed as well for the Snapfire. They're a bit split at the moment on Execration. They're going to run into Tino. Look at all the stun lock from Summit. Perfect jump, making sure there is no opportunity for a BKB.
That's a shield bash.
Oh boy. And just look, this is exactly how you want to be playing as a Dawnbreaker as well, right? Trezam straight down to the bottom side, just saying, you know what, I'm going to make sure that someone's at least a little visible. They're going to back off around the outpost area. But this is what, even as a pos 5, you're able to get a decent amount of farm. Just shoving out the way very safely. And then again, you can instantly join in with that Solar Guardian. He's got the Holy Locket as well for all of that damage output.
How... Are we concerned on Execration scaling? Or do we feel like they're a lineup that isn't on too much of a timer?
I don't think they're on a timer necessarily, because the stronger that the TB gets, the stronger the Grimstroke gets. We've seen Lena's be that true carry for the games. The Pos 1 Kunkka is going to drop off, so you can see he's going into a little bit more utility with the AC. And then we've seen DKs, of course, be able to scale into the super late game, right? Like, he hasn't even got his Aghanim Shard yet. That's how much Tino has been looking to play around being active on the map, really setting up skills for his team. But if he wants to, you know, Ag Shard, Agceptor, Manta style, you can absolutely be a threat into the late game.
Maybe the scaling might be a bit more difficult though, just this game, because like you said, he's been putting a lot more emphasis on trying to find those pickoffs instead of keeping up in his farm. I mean, also the KDA is not looking good, so not really getting too many kills to get that shard to find his farm.
Drag him through the mud.
Dino, well, maybe he can turn it around for them, but Crush! What a jump in arena onto both supports with the help of the Solar Guardian. They'll just blow up two heroes and Execration to start the fight. Absolutely no remorse from Summit. It's a flawless team fight from them, and now they can move this into the pit.
This is the thing that Summit has been doing very well all game, is that they've been baiting amazingly. Like CZY that time around, he's just standing around his ward. As soon as that smoke pops, he blinks back, the Mars blinks forward with the BKB, because he knows they want to engage onto the easy target. The same sort of thing happened previously on the top side when Tier 1 Tower was still up for Execration, where they just put the Terrorblade into a really risky position because they knew they had the Solar Guardian turnaround. They knew they had the smoke looking to connect through. So, I mean, they're playing on the edge for sure. When it turns up well, it looks amazing, but sometimes it's just leaving them looking a little silly as well.
Mid lane? They're gonna try to crush. I think the spear pushing back Conquer should be enough to delay the kill. It's gonna give some time for Summit to be able to catch up, and there we go. Defensive telekinesis, and Crush should be able to get out. A preempted boat just trying to guess the direction of Crush's retreat. Gonna go to the north instead, but Bob can hunt him down. Or very close to being able to get the blink off. Execration, they lose the tier 2 tower top though, but the kill does now give them, it gives them about a minute to be able to get the map out into a position they're comfortable with.
Oh yeah, but you have to contest against this double damage though that Execration now have. Bob looking to pick that one up. Going to try and find any of those easy picks throughout the map, but I mean, they can very easily just play around this high ground vision that they've got here. It's only going to be around for another 10 or so more seconds, but it seems like Summit want to kind of contest into it. Just feel like they need to keep control of this sort of area. They unfortunately weren't able to get the Observe Ward in time. You hate to see it. But, I mean, how close are they to picking up some of these next items?
Almost Scotty on TB.
Yeah.
Radiant's
That's probably the next big one. Level 20 as well.
Even just
15 on the Dawnbreaker is nice.
Dire's top
Is
tower
there
Solar Guardian
attack.
Oh, yep.
cooldown by
Radiant's
20
middle
seconds?
tower is under attack.
Even the crystals for Mercury, you were mentioning before,
Yeah,
kind of.
that's actually big.
Yeah, the 20 talent's nice, but if you don't really have a damage item, then you won't see too much usage out of it. All right, they're gonna smoke though. All ultimates are the ready, Aegis as well, and those items we just mentioned.
Again, Trezam just bringing attention up towards this top side.
They see
He's
Tino.
gonna, as soon as this creep wave spawns... Oh.
Okay. Very nicely done. I mean, bot shoved in, mid shoved in. So, wait, Execration. They're going to look to take the fight. Crush once again. What a beautiful arena in this choke point. Execration, they just can't enter the fight. The boat's going to give them a little bit of protection off the back of the run buff. They might be able to target down Unknown for the moment, but down to the south, Bob, he's in trouble off the back of the double damage, and it's not going to matter. Scotty pummeling into the leaners of the BKB, not enough to protect the escape. Back to the middle though, Palos secures the kill into Mercury, so in the end, a 2 for 3. In fact, they also lose the Rubik. Ooh.
Ends up buying back. It's a big deal. I mean, they were using the a lot onto that DK as well. You know, even the Solar Guardian using onto him, which meant that the Mars went down. Probably not the ideal scenario coming through from Summit, considering they had the area control at the time. They had the Aegis, and, well, we know how reliant a Terrorblade lineup is on those long cooldowns. So he's got, what, another 100 seconds until he's able to have it again, and, well, they've only got 50 seconds left until this Lena's going to be back available. So you might look to see Execration really looking to push their advantage, take all these towers, push in mid lane as much as possible.
It's a really cool play from Bob, just his emphasis, and sorry, I should say, well, yeah, same word, but I was just going to say just the thought from him to try and bring down the Rubik. Just, I think CZY is going to have so much impact in the fight as Trezam gets blown up down bottom. Because
with his telekinesis.
Yeah, the telekinesis, even just the abilities, he's able to still crush. Nice BKB reactions from Palos. Yeah, just the priority he's putting on getting rid of the Rubik, I think is going to be very important. And we kind of saw it in that fight without the Rubik. Maybe no defensive telekinesis, some of the damage reduction and Fade Bolt, any ability he could steal. So I like that, at least for Bob.
Thinking as well what Palace is actually going to look to go for. Like, he's still at the top of the net worth. He farms amazingly, like he always does. But is he going to go into the Tidebringer cooldown or the Ghost Ship fleet? Like, again, TB, illusion-based hero, so the Ghost Ship fleet's going to be able to do a great job at reducing a lot of that. And just to be able to provide your Lina the capability to just stand and man fight, I think is going to be just so incredibly important, right? Especially once he picks up that Satanic for himself.
Is this the third double damage rune in a row? What is going on? It might be...
I think there was an Arcane in between, I think.
Okay, maybe 3 out of the last 4 then. I've seen a lot of DDs. I'm like, hang on a second,
Radiant's
guys.
top tower
3
is
out of
under
5, I
attack.
think.
This is a bit too many double damage runes. And you got one on Terrorblade now with the bottle. But Aegis does soon expire. Bob is setting up top on Mercury. I will find out if he's going to have enough damage here. With the help of Solar Guardian, they're both going to trade the BKBs, but the crits are coming up from Bob. Mercury thought he could turn it back around with Trezam showing up, but was not to be.
Thought wrong, my friend.
4 on 4.
Just cannot do that in
Execration. Gonna try and jump the high ground. Crush. Not the greatest arena now, but I know with the double damage rune. Nice read. Tino instantly TP's out. They're gonna look to avoid the fight. Crush with a refresh.
Be refreshed. Don't want to lose this.
Bounty.
Using the spear just for the vision on the high ground. Don't want to lose this gem though. He's picked it up very recently on Crush. Just looking to, especially as the setup for Roshan is set to happen in the next 2 or so minutes, gain control over this top area of the map. Both teams know how important it is to be able to have this coming into the next, tier 2 potential high ground tower push that's going to be coming.
Dire are scanning.
Do you feel like now it's important for Dire to go for their own gem, considering we just saw Radiant pick one up?
Can they afford it, is my question. Like, the boots are bearing very close for the Mirana, very important. Probably the Grimstroke is the one that needs to pick it up. You've got your Aghanim Scepter, you've got that big thing that's going to be enabling you. And, I mean, you're just so close to picking up Scythe, Satanic, Halberd, like, such key items for being able to turn around that next key team fight. So yeah, I really want to see Shanks pick it up next.
Because I think Crush has been doing an incredible job on the Mars to be able to start these fights. I really think that was the one bad arena that I can remember just then from Crush. Previously, we've seen some incredible ultimates from him, and now if it's going to be Summit, having the vision advantage, especially by this Roach Pit, like you were mentioning, then it could really put them in a position to start to bring back this deficit that there is at the moment. 8,000 lead for Execration, but anything can happen when you have the vision advantage and a team fight lineup like they do.
They've hit so many timings now on Execration as well, right? Halberd, Satanic, Wraith Pact as well. Like, they've just got everything that they could possibly want. Man, Shanks is actually going into a sheepstick of his own to pair together with Palos, but I don't know. I feel like that map presence is just so much more important.
Yeah, because they're going to lose a lot of their vision soon, and that's a big concern of mine. But
Dawnbreaker even has the Paladin Sword, the extra healing amp on top of the Holy Locket. Really works well against this pickoff. If he can get up to level 18 as well, that'd be great.
how much is Holy Locket?
30. The heal amp? 30%.
Yeah. Alright, Daedalus, yeah, we're getting a lot of items. Looks like Palace actually changed his mind. Went to a heart instead. Also went for the Tidebringer cooldown. Have we got any other 25s? Just the Lina with the attack range.
Radiant's
I mean,
middle
I already
tower
talked
is
before
under
about how
attack.
Lina's one of those few heroes that can actually look to...
Bob.
Oh, alright, smoke on smoke.
Charging
Still
to the
sees
middle.
light.
Crush again! Look at the arena, but where's the damage coming in? The BKB's protecting cores for the moment. Unknown's going to try and enter the fight. Crush just got the second arena. It's just going to control Conquer on the left side. There's nothing they can do. Nowhere to enter the fight. Bettino gets the Halberd,
can't see him.
delaying the damage so they won't be able to bring down Palace. And now they've just entered the pit, moshing them down one by one. There's a meat grinder going to work.
Dark
And
Portrait.
that's the Lina. The Dark Portrait with the help of Bob just ripping apart Summit Gaming. Oh no!
Yeah, they couldn't see anyone and they didn't focus down this Dark Portrait. I was just saying before that team fight broke out how Lena's one of those few
Radiant's
people
middle
that can look to
tower is under
contest
attack.
into a Terrorblade with his massive amount of attack range. Of course,
Radiant's
Alina with
middle
the
tower
Dragonlance
has
picked
fallen.
up with that level 25 talent
Radiant's
and just an
bottom tower
insane
is
amount of
under
range
attack.
base. It's nuts the amount of screen that you're able to cover. There's nearly 1,000 attack range at this stage on Bob, and they don't even have a telescope.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That really felt like it was all saved off the back of Tino. Because the arena on the choke point like it was, it
Radiant's
didn't
middle
clip
barracks
powers,
It was
but
really good.
yeah, what it was is they couldn't enter the high ground, but Tino jumped in, got the Hellbit on Unknown.
Radiant's
They-
middle barracks has fallen.
They might be able to just win this off the back of that one fight. They push incredibly fast, and they got a glyph on Summit. Gotta make a play, you gotta go now. Tino's gonna look to delay, force stuff out of the combination. Solar Guardian's gonna get dropped as well, but it's space. That's all it is. Just space so Bob can bring down the throne, and Execration will take our first series of the night.
Oh man. Was that how you were expecting this game to end? I sure as hell wasn't. I was thinking much more standard, go into the second Roshan, look to claim that one up, play it a little bit more safely, but this is SCA Dota, baby. This is exactly what we come here to see. A single team fight, just great execution, allowing Execration to get the win.
So back and forth though, which gives me like Summit dropped now to 1-3, which is I suppose 3 losses, definitely not looking good. But the fact that they're able to take an early series victory over TNC still, I think this team overall has to keep in the back of their mind, like you look pretty decent in a lot of your series. You again beat TNC, you just at least took a map off Execration, you took a map off Made in Philippines as well. So we are seeing this team continue to develop over time, and they've got 3 series left over. So if they're able to just tweak a couple of their mistakes, we saw how dominant they could look against one of the better teams in Division 2 in that second game. Like they just steamrolled over Execration. So if they can tweak some of those mistakes, then they could be in a position to at least stick around. I think they maybe lost their hope in making to Division 1 though.
Yeah, I mean, the big issue for mine, that game in particular, he played a great game in game number 2, but it was unknown, right? Like I'm pretty sure he died in the exact same spot 3 times to 2 different wards, and it just means that you need to be a little bit more cautious about where exactly you're looking to farm, or make sure you make the call to the rest of your team, or listen to your team when they tell you that they're likely to have vision there, which CZY did do to his credit. So unfortunate for Summit, but well-earned victory coming through for Execration.
Yes, well-earned victory. And so in the our first series of the night as well, we've got some exciting Division 1 series going on. We got RSG versus Polaris, and the second series is T1 versus RSG. Wait, what's going on? I forgot now. Come on, Danog, you're supposed to remember.
Bro, it's my birthday. I don't need to do anything.
All right,
Let me
Polaris
have a look.
RSG and T1 SMG. There we go. That's what's going on. Polaris got a new coach as well. Did you see who it is?
AU, right?
Yes. So haven't.
So
When was
obviously, he's had a little bit of. I think his most recent stint was on Fnatic. It didn't last too long. I think they didn't have the greatest record when he joined him in, I want to say 2020 or so. But prior to that, of course, some really nice performances on teams like TNC. So I'm keen to see what he provides to Polaris, who, it has to be said, they haven't had the greatest start to this season in particular after having a little bit of that roster swap. Obviously not having Focus as well as Mavis or Xavius. I keep confusing the two. But one of the move spots, and yeah, they just haven't looked quite as hot as they did last season. So maybe he can turn it around for him.
Yeah, I think you are right. Like, short stint on Fnatic, and then he had some open qualifier runs with Animals. But we had someone in the interview room. We just lost someone in the interview room. He is now back. I don't know who it is. So I do kind
A
of
mystery man.
you need to find out. I don't want to say the wrong name or anything like that. I don't want the players to hate me, man. That's not what we're here for. We've got to have all love coming through from the players. I need a quick response.
If it's VVVVV, do you think it's Vincenzo?
I mean, you are probably right. He got told second. Okay. No, I agree. I agree. I feel like it could be Vincenzo, but I'm not getting much information.
Not getting anything.
I'm not getting anything.
These
but
damn admins, man.
no, Nino's he's had a
He's had a rough day.
he had a I was thinking how I wanted to word it. He's had an interesting day. All right, let's just bring him in. Doesn't matter. You I don't want to be like, it's nice to Vincenzo. Thank you for joining us.
Bring him
Vincenzo,
in. Bring
what's
him in,
going
damn
on?
it.
All right.
Bring him in. I don't care.
All right, I'll bring them in.
We'll do it live. YOLO.
Hello. Are you able to hear us?
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Our admin didn't tell us who we're speaking to. Would you like to introduce yourself to all the lovely people? It's Vince.
Hi, I'm Execration RR.
It's
Yeah,
Execration.
it is, Vincenzo.
Yeah.
Take the floor,
Well,
Danog. You got any
very
questions?
big congrats. Yes, congratulations on the victory. Marcy and Dawnbreaker, they're the two heroes that I want to focus on because they're newest into Captain's mode. What are your thoughts on the two heroes? Like, do you feel like both of them can fit in any draft? Because it felt like in the games that Marcy lost, it was because the synergy maybe between the hero that it was paired with wasn't so great.
Depends on the lane, the hero against Marcy, because Marcin is a good tandem hero, like Razor or Ursa, like that.
So, would you mind explaining a bit about the pairing together with the Luna then, for example? Was that something that you were expecting to do from the very beginning, or was it just something that had to happen because you were lacking in push maybe for the draft?
Maybe we're lacking, and it's really hard because against Dawnbreaker, it's really hard lane against Luna and Marcy because they're not strong hero and not synergy as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then just speaking of the Dawnbreaker itself, we've seen it been played in position 3, position 4, position 5. Do you have a feeling of where you think it's strongest and a preferred item build as well?
And Dawnbreaker is a strong hero, I think. I think he needs to nerf or ban. I think it's really hard to counter him.
Just ban it entirely, okay?
Yeah.
And
Maybe it's banned. Maybe next time.
do you think teams are playing around the Aghanim Scepter on the hero enough? Because I feel like not too many teams are picking it up.
I think it depends what his role. Sometimes because he is so many lane, he can be top lane or 4 or 5. It's really strong and in team fight also.
Cool. You have any questions, Aries?
Vincenzo, I just have one question. What is your favorite team activity that you guys like to do for team bonding?
Maybe we're eating together and playing some cards and playing basketball.
Beautiful. There you go. Playing cards, playing games, and enjoying each other's time. Vincenzo, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations. Is there any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
We would like to thanks to our fans who supporting us and our teammates to carry me always.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, teammates, and thank you very much for Vincenzo for joining us. Congratulations once again.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. Danog, first series done and dusted here for the night, and we are going to be moving over to Division 1 now. It's going to be a very short break before we join the lads over on the panel. Like we said, it's RSG versus Polaris for our first series, so we're going to send this over to a break, and when we come back, you guys will have the panel.